Hello and welcome back everybody. So it's time for another chapter review of Black Clover, and this week was actually really enjoyable to me because we got to wrap up this whole arc that we've been having, you know, this tournament arc thingy that every shonen needs to have, and now that it's over we can finally move on to the next story arc. And I mean, I really did enjoy this arc that we've been having, but I really want to get more into the whole story of Black Clover because, let's be honest, tournament arcs, while they do have some story implemented into it, it's typically not really story related per se, if you know what I'm talking about. And I really hope that we get to see more about, you know, what these royal knights are going to be doing, because that's kind of what this next arc is going to be, I think, given that Sis Leone was actually picking up, you know, Asta, Noelle, Finral, Luck, and Zora. Well, at least I think those were the people from Black Bulls, and then we obviously have Yuno and everyone else from other squads, but let's not talk about them because they weren't really that relevant in this chapter. One thing that I really enjoyed about the whole wrapping up of the arc was what we got about Langris, Finral's brother, because previously we learned that he may be working for the terrorists unwillingly, like he may not actually be aware of it, but in this chapter we saw how they were taking him away in this bed thingy. I mean, they're obviously gonna treat his wounds, I guess, but after that they might question him or pry his mind through magic, you know, to find out if there's something in there that he doesn't know about himself, or maybe he does know about it and just doesn't want to talk about it. I'm not entirely sure, but I really did like how that was handled. You know, they didn't just completely skip that part, and I think that's probably really important, especially for future references, because these terrorists seems to be very recurring in the story of Black Clover, so they are obviously going to be returning, probably even soon at that, because that's kind of the whole thing that the Royal Knights exam was about, I think. You know, they want to fight these terrorists primarily, at least. I mean, they're probably gonna fight the Diamond Kingdom to some extent, but given that Marth is trying to, I guess, influence the king or something, I don't really remember, but it was something along those lines. I think it's more likely that these royal knights are focused on the terrorists rather than the actual Diamond Kingdom. So if we look at the Black Bulls, I mean, like I said, I kind of mentioned the members that were being picked. You know, we had obviously Asta, Noelle, Luck, Finral, and Zora, and these people, in my opinion, were really good as picks, because while, you know, some people may want Magna to join, he's not really the most ideal person when you think about it, because yeah, sure, he's cool, you know, he has cool personality and all that, but as far as magic goes, the others really did show more promise than he did. And I really am not saying that to put Magna below the others, because, you know, I really like Magna, but I don't really like him as much as, say, Luck or Finral or Asta. They really do stand out above Magna in that sense. Magna is your typical, you know, hothead, and I guess they really didn't want to have that on the Royal Knights squad. Now, one important thing about this chapter was, of course, Zora, or Zax, whatever you want to call him. I'm gonna call him Zora because that's what he wants to be called, and it turns out that he was actually part of the Black Bulls all along. Now, I was reading some discussions about this in a Discord server that I'm part of, and they were speculating, you know, did he join the Black Bulls now, or did he in fact belong to that squad from the beginning? And we kind of came to the conclusion that he was part of the whole squad from the beginning. Yes, not really officially, he wasn't wearing the robes of Black Bulls until now. So right now, you know, Zora is officially part of the squad, and he will be probably for the entirety of this story as far as we know. And I really like that. I mean, while he may be my most hated character in the whole story as of right now, he could redeem himself. I mean, he was acting like a dick for a reason, probably. And now that he doesn't have to do that anymore, at least not to the same extent, he may be able to very easily, or maybe not so easily, you know, redeem his character and become one of the better characters in the whole story. It really does depend what sort of route he is being taken towards. So as I mentioned, Sis Leone is going to be the captain of the Royal Knights, and I really do like that idea because her character is actually one of my favorites. Not the favorite, but one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, mind you, and I really do enjoy seeing how she treats the people around her, like her way of leading people, and I want to see, you know, where that's gonna bring us in the next arc. Like, how is she going to go about doing things? Because I mean, obviously we don't don't really know exactly what the next arc is going to be, but I have a feeling she's going to be a very significant character, because obviously she's gonna have to lead everyone. She needs to, you know, get people on the right track as Royal Knights. I mean, they're no longer just magic knights. The Royal Knights is a special squad of people, the best of the best, I guess you could call it. And we really need to have a strong leadership, and she can definitely be that person. I have no doubt about that, especially what we saw, you know, back during the hot springs when she was motivating people to get to the top, you know, through the mana skin training, I guess. And yeah, she's just a really motivational character in my opinion. You know, she wants to get people persevere. I mean, she may have a really strong personality. Some people may even consider her personality to be a bit, you know, extreme, but in my opinion that's kind of needed in some cases. You know, you don't have that many characters in Black Clover who does have her kind of personality. You have good personalities and you have bad personalities. Then you have Sis Leone, who is like, she's basically a good character, but she really takes things a bit too far, and she has a tendency of going to the extremes quite often. I do like that though, as I said, because that could even push, you know, Luck, Asta, Noelle and Finral further. Especially Finral, he's not exactly the most, you know, forward going character. He really does like to lay back, you know, do things at his own pace, and I don't think Sis Leone is going to allow that. She's going to put him on his feet and make him work. That is exactly what I am predicting that, you know, Sisleon is going to do with the people who are not as forward going when it comes to Magic Knight's work. Asta and Yuno, on the other hand, they, you know, they really want to become the Wizard King, and that's why they're definitely not going to need the same level of motivation that, say, Finral or maybe Luck. I don't think Luck is gonna be a problem either, because he likes fighting, he likes strong opponents, you know, that's kind of all he cares about. And so I don't really think she's gonna have to worry too much about him as long as he has somebody to fight with or something like that. You know, Luck has something to hold on to. Finral, he likes girls and all of that. He doesn't really have the same sort of motivation as some of the other characters that were picked by Sis Leone, and maybe, just maybe, that might be why he's being picked, because he has potential. He hasn't really reached that potential yet, but he will get there with the right push. I really do hope we get to see something along those lines. That would be something that I think most people who read the series would enjoy. And then we have Zora, you know. I think Sis Leone and Zora are going to be two characters who will clash in a very interesting sense, because Zora is very laid back, as we saw in the tournament. I mean, I still think his personality is genuine, even though he was pretending to be somebody else. And so seeing how Sisleon will interact with this character, because he doesn't give a fuck, you know. He was even attacking Sisleon in this chapter. Well, obviously not in the aggressive sense, but he's not as friendly and as obedient as some of the others that were picked. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to end the video here because, well, I don't have much else to add to this review, and I've talked enough, I think. So yeah, do let me know what you think down below in the comments. This was yet another unscripted review. I may be swapping over to unscripted reviews entirely if you think they're better. I mean, if you think they're a lot worse than my scripted ones, then do let me know, because I can change back if enough people, you know, think it's not as good and whatnot. Anyway, if you did, be sure to Detroit smash that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This has been your favorite host, Perm, and I will see you next time.